This has gotten to be a little bit surreal. We're back in the Hall of Mirrors, where once again, representations of the fact are being made. Okay, here I have a statement made by Gazetteler.com, a subscription news service, and it says, "Today marks 24 years since 9/11. The American government helped orchestrate the attack, and now a leaked video shows a Saudi official scouting the U.S. Capitol before it happened." Well, that's the city of Washington referenced by the U.S. State Department. Remember, this is all British territorial U.S. business. And they go on to say that, quote unquote, 24 years ago on this day, 2,996 innocent Americans were slaughtered in the middle of New York City. That's true. Planes were hijacked. Buildings were incinerated. First responders ran into hell, but what really happened on 9/11 was far more sinister than what they told us on TV. Yes, it was. It was far more sinister, far more criminal. But the American government was not involved. It was the U.S. government that did all of this. Specifically, it was Mr. President George H.W. Bush and his son, Mr. President G.W. Bush, otherwise known as W. And it was the CIA, the municipal corporation, that orchestrated all of this in concert with MI6, the municipal corporation, and Israeli Mossad, with a little help from other foreign companies and foreign corporations, and only by presumption or assumption, the actual countries. Because the actual countries, including the American government, were not involved in any of this and haven't been involved in any of this. This was done by commercial corporations and by, shall we say, operatives who were actually foreign agents that were undeclared operating in this country. So the American government had nothing whatsoever to do with 9/11, by definition. All of it was carried out by United States, federal subcontractors, and their commercial corporation agencies. As long as we're on this subject, and we're talking about the Hall of Mirrors, where your actual physical being is being captured in the mirror and re-represented in the form of all these corporate entities, let us also observe how they worked the great fraud of the federal income tax. In 1895, the attempt to codify and pass a federal income tax, which was basically an illegal payroll kickback tax on American workers that were working for the federal government subcontractors, was rejected by the United States Supreme Court, and it was ruled a direct tax that could not be enforced. So what they did is they applied it to the employers, the corporate employers of these same Americans, and made the corporations employing the Americans responsible for the withholding. They thereby converted it into an indirect private tax. And it's all fraudulent. It's all constructive, and it's all control. And it has nothing to do with the American government whatsoever. This was an attack on American soil. It was an attack against the actual country. And it's outrageous that they would try to somehow implicate the American government and the American people who were actually the victims of this horrendous commercial attack, as if they were somehow implicated in pulling it off. Let it stand for the record that no, the American government was not involved in 9/11. The American government did not direct 9/11. The American government was not complicit in any way with 9/11. And anyone who says so needs to be taken out and flogged.